Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendall, and today is just a currently inked up pens video. So I've got some pens. I like to keep generally just 5 or 6 inked at a time, and I'll share with you what I have. So let's dive in. Okay, so as I said, I usually keep 5 to 6 pens. I try to limit it that way, and I try to get a good variety of ink colors. I generally like one to be in the reds or dark reds. I like at least one blue, maybe two. I like a green, maybe a black or a gray. So anyway, I like a variety, and that's kind of how I decide. And so we're going to start off with all right, I'm going to start off with this Dryden Designs. I haven't used this pen for a while because sometimes the flow isn't great. I decided I'm going to try some Pilot Konpeki in this. So this is the Dryden Designs. I think they call this the Rosewood. It has a fine nib, and it's got Pilot Konpeki. I decided if it can work with Konpeki, then it's worth keeping around and not fussing too much. The nib and the feed don't come out on this. So anyway, I also wonder if the cap, you can hear that it's very loud snap, but I'm not sure if it's sealing very well that way too. So all right, there's pen number 1. All right, pen number 2. This is Jinhao X159, and it's got a fine nib. I've heard some that have a medium. And if so, please leave me a comment. Tell me how you got the medium and where I can find one. It's a fun pen. So let's work with this one here. Jinhao X159. Again in fine. And this is one of my favorites. Diamine Rider's Blood. I feel like I have to have Rider's Blood or Ancient Copper every time. I don't know. I just love those inks. So that I love those deep dark reds. So there's pen number 2. All right, pen number 3. This is a fairly recent acquisition for me. The Pilot Elite, which is like the E95S. I love this all black with the gold. So I'm still using it because this is, I ran out of the black cartridge it came with, and I wanted to use it some more. So it is a 14 karat fine nib. And this is Diamine Earl Grey. This ink itself, I like the Earl Grey, but I think it depends on the pen. Sometimes it's just too faint, and it's a little bit on the fainter side here. I generally like it in a medium or a broad, just so that I can see more of the ink. But it is more of a true gray, you know, with a finer nib. But it is fun. I like it. So, pen number 4. This is a Moonman, or Mahjong. I prefer to call it Moonman because Moonman just, it sounds cooler. So, the Moonman M800. And this also is a fine, although it's a bit of a wetter writer, which I really prefer and love. And this also is diamine. I love diamine inks. Diamine Sargasso C. Just a beautiful ink. I really like the depth, and it has a bit of a red sheen almost in the right circumstances, but it's also a good blue, and it passes for any work documents, or like boring documents can stay boring enough, but it's just nice. All right, this is, sorry, I uncapped it already. Pen number 5. This stays inked up almost all the time. For one, it just has such a huge capacity that you fill it and it stays filled forever. So, you know, you hope you like the ink in it because it'll last forever. I'm sure others can relate. This is the Twisbee 580 ALR. This also is a fine. I'm looking at getting a stub, either for this or I'll get an eco. I have some shimmer inks I'd love to use, and I think Twisbees are really ideal for that. You can take them apart, you can see all the ink sloshing around in there. So I think there's reasons for that too. But this is another diamine ink, and it is Aurora Borealis. Okay. Last pen. This one is the Moonman A1, and it is a little finer today with this ink. I don't know if it's if I've got a flow issue, because this just is so fine I can barely read it, and it's of course it is an extra fine nib. What I have in it is diamine Sherwood green, but this is so fine I mean, generally this is a darker green. It can look different depending on what pen it's in, but I previously had some Noodler's ink in this that I wonder if it's kind of clogged something. I've had not the best luck with Noodler's inks. I don't think I'm going to buy any anymore. So I may need to use some pen flush to get this working better. So these are the pens that I have inked up. A good variety of inks. One of the comments in a recent video of mine, there was just this great idea that I would share it. I've got a separate video on this, and I'll be doing an update. This Plotter Mini 6-ring. But someone was sharing how they keep track of inks and their pens, and they mentioned they have a pen journal and an ink journal. So every time they ink up a pen with a certain ink, they'll fill it in. I think this is a great idea. So this whole page is going to be Sargasso C. The first one, I've got the date and the pen. So that's really fun. And the paper in this, by the way, is just really nice. So I've got the Writer's Blood, the Earl Grey, basically all the inks that I have active right now. Konpeki, the Aurora Borealis on this page. Now if I wanted, I could do, you know, one ink per front and back, but I feel like this will be enough variety for one ink that I can see. So I am using double-sided, but if the ink is anywhere close to the same color family, I'm not doing it on the opposite page, because if I want, I can undo the rings and move that page to compare ink colors. And then here's the Sherwood green. So yeah, as an example, sorry, I've got the Writer's Blood on one side and the Sargasso Sea on another. Those two I would never need to compare. They're separate enough color families. Same with the Earl Grey and the Konpeki. They're just different enough. But this Aurora Borealis does have some green to it, and it might be nice to be able to compare. So I didn't put this on the opposite side. And then the other idea is doing a page per pen. So you have, a sheet where it's just the ink, and then you can have, every time I ink up the Twisbee, I can keep track of what I'm putting in that pen and how it's writing with the various inks. So thank you for that comment a while back. I forget the name, but anyway, I think it's a great idea and thought I would share it. So that's it. I will turn the camera around and wrap up. Okay, and that is it. Hopefully this was fun. I like to see these types of videos, so I thought I would share as well. I'd love to know, some of your methods. Do you keep different kinds of journals like this? Just interested in general on how people do it. Do you have a limit on how many pens you keep inked at a time? Do you, keep track of those types of things? And how you rotate your pens. So just lots of fun. Make sure to like this video. That really helps. And be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So we'll talk to you next time.